and welcome to Match Fishing TV. In the first half of this week's show, we'll be looking at the UK Championships at the Gleb. We'll be looking at the Junior and Cadet Nationals. There's a teams of 4 match on the Tidal Trent, which should give some early indication for the Division 1 National. And there's Maven Match this qualifier at Hayfield. I'm joined in the studio by Tom Scholey.
Hello.
And by Matt Godfrey.
Hey up.
Okay guys, we've got a lot to get through in this week's show. Let's talk about the Glebe and the UK Championships.
Nice, exciting match as always, but it were always going to be because the UK Champs is fished a little bit later in the day. And you know what the Glebe's like, it's probably the most prolific commercial in the country at the minute. And it was an excellent match. It was won by Dave Brown, top bloke, top angler. He had £208.2 from peg 76 on pool 5. And he had an interesting match really because he caught on a feeder to start with, 16 big carp. Casting regular. I don't know exactly what he put in the feeder, but I know the thing that they tend to do there is cram it full of particles. Yeah. You've got to have a 20-inch hook length, and they normally fish with like a bunch of maggots on the hook, so I'm assuming Dave's done something similar, but it makes a nice change to see something like that, because normally it's chucking a method feeder over, but...
I have a feeling that might be the peg that I wasted in the David Hall Memorial match. I've got a feeling that might have been the peg I was on.
Well, there's one of them. I'm not sure whether it's that one. It's on either pool 5 or pool 6, and they call it the little girl's peg. I don't know whether it is that, because supposedly even a little girl could win off it. So.
I thought you were going to say a little girl lives there.
Sounds about right for me. No, I mean, that is... And obviously a lot of the matches there this year have been dominated by Lake 1.
Yeah, it's nice to see like pool 5 doing really well. But after he caught these fish on a feeder, he's come in on the pole, feeding hemp and corn on the short pole, and caught another 30 carp and ended up with 40 odd he had for £208. So cracking day's fishing. Walked away with a big check and obviously 0 points, which pushed Dave up to now 3rd in the league table. Excellent. On the UK champ. 2nd were Pen Whiting from Maroo. He had £183. He was on peg 28 on pool 1. And 3rd place, no stranger to the frame at the Glebe, Andy Kinder. He had £170 again off pool 1. Peg 17, so good match all in all, plenty of fish caught, and there's some exciting coverage of the event actually coming up tonight is it?
Tonight at 7 o'clock, yeah, there is a programme about the actual history of the UK Championship, because obviously it's a very historic competition.
Yeah.
It used to be fished on natural venues, didn't it, back in the day? Yeah. I believe Rob Hughes has commissioned a programme all about the history of the event, so that'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
Is that one of the BT Sport programmes?
It is, it's on BT Sport. It's nice to see somebody doing something like this, because you know, angling has got a lot of heritage, especially match fishing has got a lot of heritage, which is pretty much untapped really in terms of TV programmes, isn't it?
You look at some of the names on that UK Champs trophy and
who's who?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But looking at the league table at the end of the 2nd round, Dale Shepherd's winning the league so far, halfway through. Chris Barley 2nd and Dave Brown 3rd, so it's all to play for. Exciting stuff.
It is.
Excellent. Okay, well, let's move on. Junior and Cadet National. Yeah,
that took place at Partridge Lakes this weekend, and there were 2 categories, the cadets, which are under 14s, and the juniors, which are under 19s. Now, the first thing I want to say about this, brilliant to see. Apparently there were 72 anglers on the bank this weekend.
Awesome.
So 72 young anglers, you know, the future of match fishing. People say there's not so many of them on the bank, but there's obviously quite a few, 72 of them to go to Partridge. I wasn't one bit surprised to hear who the winner was overall, over both categories. That was Tom Edwards, who's a fantastic young angler from the East Anglia area. I think he lives in Peterborough, doesn't he, Tom?
Yeah.
Did ever so well. He caught 53 kilos, 690 of big F1s fishing meat and kinder potting ground bait. It was on one of the Kobe lakes at Partridge. I'm just going to run through quickly the full result. In the Cadet National Championship, Jake Pope won that with 25 kilos, 630. 2nd was Ryan Kennison. He had 18 kilo, 510. And 3rd was Jay Gill, who had 17 kilos and 10 grams. The cadet teams, the winners were Worksop and District with 21 points.
Yes, go on Worksop.
I tell you what, they're no strangers to the Junior Cadet National Trophy, are they? Even back when I was a junior, Worksop were one of the teams to beat.
Wow. Yeah, that's right, I used to fish for our Worksop. Well done, lads.
2nd were Match Aid. They had 19 points. And 3rd was Sensor Save 4 with 13 points. Moving on to the junior category, as I said, Tom Edwards won the match. He had 53 kilo, 690. Yeston Sefton, who was a brilliant young angler from the Wales area, he had 45 kilo, 280 grams. And 3rd was Sarah Taylor, who was a great up-and-coming young lady from the northwest. She had 44 kilos, 500. In the team stakes, that left Centre Save 4 leading the way with 50 points. Tameside Matrix Bait Tech second with 41 points, and the Match A Juniors were third with 39 points. So,
okay, so well done to the teams. Certainly well done to Jake and Tom. Funnily enough, I found out about Tom's result. I had no idea that he would know mates of mine. I've got a friend who's a blacksmith, and he's a friend on Facebook. And it popped up yesterday. He was congratulating Tom. They obviously know each other. I understand Tom's spent a bit of time fishing with John Winkup.
yeah, he's like his prodigy, isn't he?
Yeah. Spent a lot of time together.
I've got to
Same area, and that's not a bad tutor to have. Apart from, unless he gets him drinking, obviously, the same sort of.
Well, he has. I've got a great story about Tom. I've got to tell this.
Now, hang on. Think about how old he is, and think about how much he's drinking.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with drinks, to be fair. He just got his first car, which is a little black van. And he said to me, can I follow you to Belingy, which is one of the lakes at Whiteacres? And I said, of course you can, mate. He didn't know where it was. So I said, if you follow me, you'll be fine. Anyway, all the way there, I'm not kidding, I've never seen anybody want to drive as fast. He is literally, if my bumper's here, he is here. All the way. It's like, he obviously, he'd have overtook me.
A bit like Alex Bones is now. Alex Bones does it on tracks.
Yeah. But I'm terrified. I'm sort of thinking, I'm deliberately slowing down way in advance, just because I know he's my bum all the time like this. Anyway, we get to Belingy. When you drive into Belingy, anybody who knows it, there's a stock pond in front of you. So I've driven in nice and carefully, pulled up, and he's obviously realised where we're going, so he's hung back a bit, swung in, foot down into this car park, skidded on the mud straight into the stock pond, or near enough. Near enough. He knocked the fence down, and his front end were about that far off the water.
That's what you're supposed to do when you're 17 and driving your first car. Been there, done that, got the T-shirt. So, no, well done, lads and ladies. Excellent weekend. Okay, Tidal Trent, Div 1's there in August, and there's just been a decent sized teams of 4 match on there.
And it's fishing really well by the looks of it. I spoke to Alan Henry and he said the good sign is there's lots of little fish in the river already normally. These early stages are dominated by bream and barbel, but he says like there's fish being caught on a float all the way through. There's 4 different stretches used on this match: Torksey, South Clifton, North Clifton and Lauterton. And looking at the weights, it's fishing really nice. Wayne Bartholomew, no stranger to Vrayman on the Trent. No. He won with £25.6 from the Torksey stretch. Al Dyer was second from Links County. He had £21.7, and third were Keith Palmer with £20.15, so it were close. And you looked at backup weights after that, and I noticed they were really close. Lots of fish being caught, and in the nets of fish, I saw Wayne's on Facebook. He ain't got any massive fish. He's got a lot of quality fish, like skimmers, eyebridge, you know, like them old silver bream with big eyes.
Pomeranians used to call them, yeah.
Plenty of them. Obviously caught on a feeder, but he's had a really busy day's fishing, for £25 of them.
Yeah.
And I saw the result from Sunday actually at Lauterton. They had a little knock up then, and Eddie Bryden won that with a similar net of fish, like lots of these sort of medium quality fish being caught.
Bodes well for it.
Oh, really exciting.
Definitely.
The colour would have been good, I would imagine. You know, we had a lot of rain last week and a fair bit over the weekend, so...
That's what, speaking to Alan Henry, that's what he said. He said he couldn't believe with the colour in the river that it wasn't just dominated by bigger fish.
Yeah,
the fact that so many small fish fed, he says he thinks for a team match, for the national, you know, it'll be brilliant, really good.
No, it'd be worth keeping an eye on that one right the way through to August. Okay, there's also a decent size open on the Aire and Calder.
Aire and
Calder, got that one, haven't we?
Sounds like a nursing home, doesn't it?
I'm going to get some new teeth for next week's show. Aire and Calder Canal.
Yes, that system up there, obviously the Aire and Calder is one of the big shipping canals in the north of England, connects with the New Junction Canal where we're going on the dreaded Knockout Cup on Friday, and also the Stainforth and Keeper Canal. But the area is so rich with fish, it certainly seems to be. I mean, historically, I can remember matches on the Aire and Calder being won with like £3 and £4 a perch. I mean, really, really tough, wasn't it, historically? Yeah. Not so anymore from what this result suggests anyway. Some big weights of skimmers. Mick Bauer won the match. He had 8 kilo, 900 grams. He caught some quality skimmers on the feeder in the first hour. And then he came on the short pole and kept little fish coming for his final weight. 8 kilo, 900, not far off £20, is it that? It's
not bad.
It's a good weight of fish. Ray Markley was second. He had 8 kilo, 850, so only 50 gram behind. He's caught all his fish on the feeder, 3/4 across. Again, skimmers. And an old mate of ours, Brian Hawkes, he was third. He had 6 kilo, 850. I'm not sure how Brian caught, but knowing Brian, it'll be roadshow skimmers on the pole, won't it? Yeah. But, you know, what great weights from a canal.
What sort of depth is it?
It's like, it varies. Some of it's only, excuse me, some of it's only like sort of 7, 8 foot, and then other bits it can be like a full top 5-year pole, 15, 16.
So there's bits that are like the Gloucester
Yeah,
and bits,
yeah.
bits that are like a drain.
The interesting thing about it, when we used to fish them matches when I fished for Triana and that on there, we dominated with like roach and perch, like there were never a skimmer there. And then you look at that and the top 3 is dominated by skimmers. So
Similar on the New Junction as well.
yeah, very much so. It does link to Southfield Reservoir though, that canal, which is obviously full of them. So it makes you wonder if the
Some
sort
got
of
through the
spawning
system,
patterns
yeah.
and stuff have led to a few fish coming up.
Excellent. Okay, Matrix Commercial Championship League, Packington Summers.
Yeah, another good match. Seems like places are fishing well now. We're won by an old friend of ours, Mr. John Arthur.
Obviously drawn badly again.
Oh,
John.
terrible pay.
Poor bloke.
He had just over £100 7 ounce off Molan's peg 33. He likes to mug them, John, and I noticed he'd mugged a few on this match, and he straight away mugged 5 carp on the pole, and then he's caught the rest on a method feeder. So he's had a busy day's fishing. Second place, Randy Leathers, again on Molan's. He were on the favoured area, Scarecrow Point, but I've never seen him there before. He's £73.13, really well done to Andy. And Rob Brennan third with £64. He was on Big Geary's Lake. He caught mainly big carp, so good varied fishing.
So well done, John. Still catching them. The match this qualifier at Hayfield.
Yeah, I can imagine that being a really exciting match, especially with the news, obviously, that the final's now going to be at Hayfield for that one. David Burley.
I would imagine they were queuing up for spare tickets there this time.
I would have thought so, yeah, especially, I mean, I think can you still fish the match this if you've already qualified? You can, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
So even if you've qualified, you know, it'd be a good opportunity to practice, wouldn't it? But David Burley won it. He's a Doncaster angler, brilliant angler, David. He had £154.5. He caught on the pole shallow, caught some really big carp on that, up to sort of £15, I'm led to believe. And then he's caught on the pellet waggler later, so I think he's sort of followed the fish out. Once he's caught a few on the pole and they've backed off, he's caught on the waggler. Second place, a lad who seems to be doing well week after week at the moment, doesn't he?
Brilliant angler.
Paul Wright, another Doncaster angler, sponsored by Halcon Hunt. He had £127, 4 ounces. And in third place was Mark Stainsby, who was a former finalist. He was in the final back when I was, I think, 2012 or 13, wasn't he? He had £121.4 off the island pool. So it wasn't all dominated by Big and Little Adams. There were some fish on the island lake as well. So really good match.
So Davey's going to start amongst the shortlist for the favourites on that match, one would have thought, with local knowledge and already having had a win there.
Definitely.
So that's who you're going to be following and spying on.
I'm going to draw well away from him.
Okay, and then just to round off the first half of the show, we had a qualifier for the Maroo Veterans Championship, Tunnel Barn Farm.
Yeah. That were a good match, wasn't it? We actually went and ran that one. And it's just, honestly, it's a right pleasure on that match. Everyone wants to have a chat with you, don't they? None of them take it too seriously. We're walking round before it start. They put the top kits down, spin around on the box, like, oh yeah, what do you reckon to this peg? And it's like, don't you want to get some? No, I'm all right for 5 minutes, I'll pour myself a...
See, when we get older, we start chatting like that.
It were, honestly...
Because we can't remember what we're going to do next.
It were a pleasure to, like, after seeing so much intense match fishing, for me, it were a pleasure to go and, like, walk around, have a chat with them, brilliant. And it fished really, really well. Dave Purvis won the match with £157.6 off 48 on iron. I spoke to him before the start. I saw he got a little bit of pace mixed up, based his match on fishing short, and it come to end at match, and apparently he couldn't even lift his nets out.
No, he couldn't get his nets out, we were told.
And that's the downside to being a veteran.
But Steve Johnson was second, another good weight, £140.11 off Newpool, peg 29, and third was Phil Mason, off peg 13 on our, with £135, but there were 12 weights over £100.
That's some fishing.
Brilliant fishing, isn't it?
Great
really
fishing.
Good fishing.
It's no, bodes well. Well done, Dave, getting through to the final. And we'll just take a short break, and we'll be back with you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back. And in the second part of this week's show, we've gone all natural. We've got reports from the River Soar, from the River Trent at Burton, from Evesham and the Swale. And we're going to kick off by looking at the Census Soar Masters qualifier at Sutton Bonington.
You're having a good time with venue pronunciation, aren't you, Rog?
Okay. River Soar Masters, Sutton Bonington. Won by a young mate of mine.
Sam Merry,
Yeah.
I tell you what, he wins some matches on
He's
that
a
river,
brilliant
Sam
angler.
does.
Brilliant angler.
I like his style as well. He's like a proper wild angler, and his tackles all over the place, but he always catches some fish. And I saw his net of fish from the weekend. He had £13.14. He caught 2 or 3 big bream, apparently on a feeder. Then a few little perch and 2 big perch as well. I'm assuming he caught them on the pole on lobworms. But the river in general fished really well. Like we said, there were a lot of small fish on the Trent. Like Cameron Hughes, who come third on the match, had £9, had a little fish. Second place, Dave Kimber, he had £9.13. So there were lots of weights, consistent weights of little fish as well. So it seems like the rivers are healthy. I think we're going to be in for a good year this year.
It certainly looks like it, yeah. I mean, Sam learned an awful lot from quite a few of the central lads. And he still comes down to Evesham most years, you know.
Yeah.
He's a good young lad. And I think he'd probably win twice as many matches if he didn't go and support Leicester City. The other half of the weekend, he's a big City fan.
Big time.
Yes, he was. I saw him a few weeks ago, just after they won the title, and he was. I thought he was on drugs, to be honest. He was bouncing around like an idiot. Well done, Sam. Good to see you again. Drennan Cause River Trent Masters.
Yeah, this is a relatively new competition. They fish it on the Upper Trent around Burton, and it's similar to the Census Soar Masters in that it's a series of qualifiers and section winners go through to a final. I think Geoff Woodgett won it last year, didn't he, on the final? But again, it fished really, really well for small fish, roach and chublets, etc. Steve Hardridge won it. He had £12 6 ounce. H. Clapham was second with £10 10 ounce, and Rob Quinn from Shakespeare was third with £10 6 ounce. The winner actually caught on stick float. It had roughly half and half.
Ooh, proper fishing.
Yeah, it sounded good. Half and half small chub and roach.
You ever seen one of them, Matt? Stick float? You know what stick float is?
Oi, Roger's young guns, we don't know about them methods.
That's it. £12 6 ounce. Love the day's fishing.
Oh, and it's a lovely bit of river around there.
Gorgeous.
Proper nice, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's nice to see they've got some sponsorship from Cause as well. I mean, Cause is part of the same group as Burton, Marston's Brewery. No, really good news. Okay, River Swale. Let's move on to the River Swale.
Got to be honest, when I saw this one, I thought, I saw Dave Harrell put a post up saying, we're off up. I think he makes a bit of a weekend of it, doesn't he? Him and Matt McGuinness and all them boys go up and have a beer after the match and a bit of a night out. And
before the match, I think. Before the match.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, before the match is the
Well, obviously, I mean, Riverfest is Dave's baby. Really,
Yeah. But I thought River Swale, it's low and clear, 60 anglers, and on that Swale Masters match there's loads of blanks always. I thought it's going to be iffy, and it absolutely fished its nuts off again. It had 15 double figure weights. The winner of the match, Mark Turner, had £43 of chub on Waggler, and caught on casters, interestingly. Most people tend to fish bronze magnets, don't they? But he caught on casters. Second place were Paul Downs. He had £37.11 of chub. Caught them on stick float.
Again with cast, I think all the
a
top
few
three
on Waggler, yeah. And then Dave himself was third with £21. Again, chub on Waggler and caster.
Dave won third. I might have been misleading there. He won his zone. Dave won his zone. So they're the 3 zone winners there.
Right.
So they're the 3 people who've qualified for the final from the match.
Right, you're going to have to do these notes.
I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry. I did my best.
Yeah,
no, they're the 3 zone winners.
Right,
the 3 people who
I'll
qualified.
tell you what I find interesting about that, though. You talk about all 3 of the guys that have done well of fish caster. It doesn't seem that the pellet as yet had an impact on those northern rivers. Whereas if you go down to the Wye, which is where an awful lot of the Riverfest regulars fish a lot, it's almost like you start off on pellet waggler.
Yeah,
the chub and the barbel are both into them, whether you're fishing the float or the feeder. And it'll be interesting to see how long it takes before that transfers up to the Swale. Maybe the thing on the Swale is you don't have as much of a problem with nuisance fish being bleak. I know bleak and match winners down on the Wye, but if you want to avoid them, you fish pellet. It's it's obviously been a great fixture.
It sounded. I mean, one of the things Dave said to me about that particular match, he said, as many big fish were landed, there were a lot of big fish landed, there were just as many lost, because a lot of the fishing on the Swale, you're fishing up to trees or weed beds. It's quite dense with vegetation.
It's like the Mr. Crabtree River.
It's a proper natural river, beautiful river. absolutely stunning piece of water. So no, well done Mark, well done Paul, well done Aaron. Okay, Evesham, 3 qualifiers this week at Evesham, busy old start to the season. Wednesday's match. I was really surprised at this. Not because of the person that won it, but because of the method that's come to work so early.
Yeah.
This would be the 3rd match of the season on there, and Joe Oakes won it with 14-4 of Roach on Hemp from peg 78. Pete Jays was 2nd with 12-8 of Roach on Hemp from peg 10, and Andy Bruton was 3rd with 11-13. I think Andy caught some other fish, but he also caught on Hemp. But normally, I mean, for the hemp weight to start kicking in at Evesham, it's normally mid-July, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
But straight away.
I genuinely think that as long as the roach are there, it's the favourite thing to eat.
Apart from bloodworm, they love bloodworm more.
They do like bloodworm more, but they can. The hemp's a little bit more selective, I find. You tend not always bigger fish. I mean, one of the problems at Evesham often is that even the small roach will take it, and you end up missing lots of bites because the fish are almost too small to take a seed. But no, it's great to see those guys in the money already. I did notice, I think it was Trevor Chalk. Trevor's a regular on the qualifiers down there, and he put on Facebook that he looked at the river, looked how early in the season it was. Don't need any hemp for this, and don't be like Trevor. He put on Facebook.
Yeah, I saw that. It was brilliant, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, very nice self-effacing comment. So well done, Joe. There. Saturday's match.
Saturday, I think we had a little bit of rain Thursday, didn't we? Or we did round here anyway.
Yeah.
And round here is what feeds into the Warwickshire Haven.
Definitely. So I would imagine that put an inch or two on the river. But Mark Lindsay actually won the match. He had 12-8 from peg 35, which obviously we spoke about last week. That's the confluence between the Avon and the River Isbourne. So it's a noted good peg for chub. And he caught some chub on maggot feeder, I'm led to believe. Second, no stranger, this man on these programmes, Steve Hemingway. He had 12 pound from peg 54. Again, he caught some small fish.
Right.
And third was Pete Morris, WB4.
54's White House Bend, isn't it?
54 just past it, yeah. It narrows up a bit there, a bit faster.
Yeah.
And third was Pete Morris. He had 11 pound 4 from peg 58. So good match again.
Brilliant
good weights.
stuff.
The thing about Saturday's match, which is worth noting, I think it's possibly the biggest match we've ever had at Evesham.
Really?
I'm sure there was either 85 or 86 anglers there fishing. There were only one or two pegs left out.
It's a few years since there's been a turnout like that at Evesham.
Massive
Popular
match,
venue, isn't it?
It's a great final to get through to. You know, any of that weekend, you want to be on matches like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got some real good guys through already. Sunday's match.
Sunday, Lee Gardner, no stranger to success on that. He won the match with £8.13. Obviously, traditionally it's a bit harder at Evesham on the Sunday because obviously the Saturday you tend to catch what I call your easy fish, although nothing's easy to catch at Evesham, but all your perch and eels and odd mug sort of bigger fish that want to feed, get caught on the Saturday and the Sunday. It's often a real slog, isn't it? A real battle. But I quite enjoy that because you know that 1 or 2 bites and you're there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Lee Gardner won it, as I say. He had £8.13 from peg 5. He caught on Waggler, caught some chublets, little bleak, dace on Waggler. Second place was Trevor Chalk. Trevor actually drew peg 1. And it was interesting. I saw a later Facebook post to the Don't Be Like Trevor one. It was more like Do Be Like Trevor, because it sounds to me like he fished a great match. Yeah. He started short on chop worm, he caught some perch and other fish on that, and then he's gone long on hemp and managed to keep some roach coming from peg 1.
Lovely.
I mean, it's traditionally associated, peg 1, isn't it, with some bigger fish, with your bream and your tench, that sort of thing. But as Trevor said, there's a lot of small fish there as well, and he's made the most of them to come second.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if you get up to the top end of the town water there, 1 and 2, you know, they're not necessarily always winning pegs, but they are always pegs that you expect to catch a few fish from, whatever the condition. So well done, guys.
And third, I was better giving this lad a mention. But although it's for the right and wrong reasons, hasn't it? We've actually awarded this man a prize, haven't we, this morning?
Be careful what you say, he's bringing our squats for the Drennan on Friday.
Is he? Right, okay. Well, we decided he's possibly the best drawer that's ever fished for Camels and Starlets, and that is a big title, isn't it? Well, you said it, actually. So I'd love to look after my squats head, please. But no, he's done ever so well. He's drawn peg 36. He's caught, again, a mixed net of fish. He's weighed £6.9, and he's qualified for the final, so big well done to him.
Excellent. Well done, all you guys. Evesham qualifiers all the way between now and Bank Holiday weekend. Get on there, get in the final. Okay, Fishermania qualifier at Gold Valley Lakes.
An interesting match again. It was won by one of our mates who actually spent a week in Holland with earlier this year, Adam Southgate. He had £102 to off syndicate, peg 103. Fished a typical Gold Valley match by the sounds of it. Not many fish for £100. He dobbed 3 on the pole, early doors, got them in his net, some big boys, and then he's caught 10 fish on a waggler. Just persevering through the day. You know, you only need 10 or 15 bites at Gold Valley to do well, and it sounds like he's made that happen, just firing in pellets, constantly casting. Caught his big fish, £102, booked himself a place in the semi-final. Backup weights, not too far behind him. Eddie Green was second with £88.4, and Greg Victor third with £79.
A decent match then.
Yeah.
So Adam through to the semi-final.
Yeah.
Okay. Final fixture of the weekend to go over then is the Census Canal League on the Grand Union Canal.
Yeah, I think this was the first round of this, and it's a massively popular league with anglers in this area, the sort of Daventry, Northamptonshire area, and also even further down from Luton. You know, you get some London teams enter. It was won by Gary Eels from Oakwood Green. He had £14.6. He caught some skimmers.
Did you catch any eels?
Apparently not.
Oh.
No, a bit misleading that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Second was Nick Crouch, an old mate of ours from Sheffield. Nick really does put the miles in. He fishes for Preston Black Horse, and he travels all the way down from Sheffield to fish for them. Yeah. He did ever so well to win the match. Well, second in the match, I say £13.1. But I looked at his board, and he'd done brilliant, hadn't he? Sort of, I think £8 was second in his board. So again, he caught some quality skimmers on chopworm.
You did say he must have drawn right on him, didn't you?
No, you said that. You're the nasty one, I'm the nice one, mate. Just remember that. And Dave Tebbett was third. He had £9.3 for Maver Image. Again, he caught some skimmers, I think. In the team stakes, Preston Black Horse Black, Nick Crouch's team, led the way. Oakwood Purple was second and Image were third. So, good close match.
Listening to the banter between you two, I thought it was good cop, bad cop. Then I thought, no, it's not, it's good cop, daft cop.
Which one's which?
Yeah, I'm not going to say. Okay, so that's the matches rounded off. Where are you two guys off this weekend? You got the Drennan on Friday?
Yeah, really looking forward to that match. I don't know what's going to happen, because one end of the match line's a bit tricky, other end solid with fish, middle bit's fish skimmers, and there's 60 anglers spread over 120 pegs. I can't wait to go and see what happens.
I think it'll be a really good match. I think it'll be really close, like you say, because the way that qualification is going to work, it's going to be the top 5 in every 10 peg section that go through.
Okay.
So even if you're in a harder bit, you know, you'll be battling against other anglers in that area. So I'm expecting a really close match.
Yeah.
And then Sunday you're on the Tidal, Saturday you're on the Tidal Trent.
Yeah, I'm going to go on that. Teams before. Our Barnsley's got a team in that, so I'm going to go on that one. Hopefully they'll put me in that best bit at talk, so I'd love a little crack at that. Catching a few. I don't need a stick float rod there either.
No. I'll bring you a stick float in if you like.
Go on.
I'll show you what one is.
Yeah.
Where are you off to?
I'm going to Evesham. Saturday I'm going to fish the qualifier there, and then Sunday we've got one of our Trentman teams in the qualifier, the team qualifier. So I've said I'll bank one up and down.
Brilliant.
Oh, it sounds like I'm being really nice and selfless doing that, but it's actually so I can have a good drink Saturday night and just chill out on the bank on Sunday. It'll be perfect.
Well, I'm going camping. We've got the Carp in the Park Festival at Billing Aquadrome this weekend. So I shall be in a field with a load of carp anglers, listening to talks by the top carp anglers in the country, undoubtedly having a drink or two, and looking at the weather forecast, probably getting quite wet.
Oh, no.
So wherever you're going this week, have a good one, and we'll be around next week.